So it appears we have some fresh new outrage this week, and it's all over some good old-fashioned cultural appropriation. That's right. Once again, the white devil snow chimp has appropriated another culture for its own use, and god damn it, people are outraged. And you know, I just love me some cultural appropriation. And this time it's over a prom dress. That's right, a girl, a white girl, a privileged white, probably heterosexual, patriarchal white girl wore a prom dress that was inspired, or sorry, not even inspired, but it was a Chinese dress, a Chinese design. And, well, people aren't happy about it. Specifically, one fine young Asian-American young man, and he took to Twitter to express his outrage, and, well, sort of unleashed this little firestorm, and as usual, well, it kind of backfired on him. So our hero of the oppressed is Jeremy Lamb. Jeremy saw Keziah Dam's tweet over her prom dress, and he retweeted and said, "My culture is not your goddamn prom dress." And of course, the shitstorm commenced. Now, if we look through Jeremy's profile on Twitter, you can tell he's a real progressive type, a real man for the oppressed and the victimized. Patriarchy, capitalism, bad. If it goes so far as to be very inclusive with, not just ladies and gents when announcing a picture, but non-binaries as well, because it's important to include people who can't accept reality. So anyways, Jeremy got upset, and, Twitter responded, both for and against, and, I took a few captures of some twats, and I thought I would just, throw them up here so we can peruse them. All right, so let's delve into the mind of a progressive here, and here we have the brain trust that is Giovanna. Giovanna says to Jeremy, she's on a quest. She's on a quest to become more knowledgeable about culture and what she can and can't do. And she says, "Honest question. When I was visiting my friend in China, her family wanted me to buy traditional clothing, but I didn't want to offend anybody." Let's take a look at that for an instance. So, she goes to China, doesn't want to offend anybody, but a couple people there are like, "Hey, why don't you put this on? This will look good." And she goes, "You know what? I don't want to offend anybody." And they're like, No, it's okay. You look good. You should wear it." And she's like, "Yeah, but, and they say, "Well, if you wear this, it's like a sign of appreciation for our culture, But she still don't want to offend. And she goes, "If I had, would it still be wrong?" I guess she's too autistic to realize that by not wearing the clothes, she's literally being offensive. Like all these cultural appropriation types are all like, "Oh, you can't appropriate the culture because, you weren't allowed to," or whatever. And this chick here, she's in China, and they're literally telling her, "Hey, wear the clothes. It's okay." But again, in her ivory tower, in her progressive pedestal, she's like, "Fuck you. I'll tell you what's offensive and what's not. And god damn it, if I wear it, this is offensive to you. Because I'm a white devil snow chimp, and I shouldn't be wearing this clothes. Even though you've told me I could, and it would be a sign of appreciation, I'll tell you when you're offended and when you're not." Then she goes on to say, "What I'm asking is if where you wear it and with who could make a difference." I guess? No, I don't think so. Because to me, it felt like I didn't want to whitewash someone's amazing culture and have anything to do with downplaying it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she knows a lot about the Chinese culture. What do I know? But she's literally been asked to wear the clothes. Jeremy goes, "I really appreciate you recognizing that. Yeah, I really appreciate you white devil snow chimp colonizer, realizing that, it could be offensive if you wore some clothes." He says, "I think it would be acceptable and appreciated if you did your research on traditional clothing, educate yourself of its importance, and gain permission from multiple people from that culture to wear it in certain settings." Okay, so apparently now, for clothes, and presumably this means like food, art, music, etc., we need a master's degree as white devils, we need to really research the culture and how they were oppressed and colonized in order to take part in said music, art, clothing, food, etc. And then, on top of that, we have to gain permission from multiple people from that culture. So, do I just walk down the street and say Koreatown if I want to wear something Korean? Like K-pop? If I want to enjoy and make some K-pop songs, do I have to, like, canvass the community and get, like, a minimum of 10 signatures on a petition to say, it's cool, man, I didn't appropriate the K-pop here because I got 10 signatures? You know what I mean? Or is it, like, do I have to have, like, you know, a ratio, a percentage of people that I've canvassed for signatures? Like, I need a 60%, you know, pass rate in order to take part in said culture? I'm babbling, but I'm just saying. And then Giovanna here goes, okay, thank you. I appreciate the perspective. For me, as a rule of thumb, if I think it could offend anybody, and it's not my place, then I just don't do it. What a boring life she must lead. No, let me take that back. She probably doesn't lead a very boring life, but she's probably a hypocrite. See, she strikes me as the type of person that make jokes about, let's see, Southerners, hicks, rednecks, etc. Conservatives, perhaps, you know. It's okay to offend them, I'm sure, with her, but, you know, the protected classes, as it were, the victims, the oppressed, oh, no. She probably doesn't make a joke about that. And she goes, and at the end of the day, I can show my appreciation through so many other ways. Yes, I'm sure the people in China were so grateful that you spared them the cultural appropriation of not wearing their clothes, even though they said you should wear it and it would be a sign of appreciation. I'm sure they're very glad that you decided to show it in other ways, you know. Maybe you taught them some American recipes. I don't know. And of course, she asked Jeremy here because clearly he's the representative for all Chinese Americans and just Chinese people at large. You know, even those living in China still, since apparently that's where she was visiting. And old 70s Harry here says, it's cultural attire, not just some pretty dress that anyone can wear to any occasion. Well, shit, says who? I mean, again, who do I got to talk to wear that? I mean, as someone who actually does identify as an Asian woman, I'm transgendered and transracial. I guess I'm allowed to wear that dress. You wouldn't deny me that, would you there, 70s Harry? You know, and if you would, well, then who's allowed to wear this dress? Only Chinese? So Harry here seems to suggest that you can wear whatever clothes you want as long as it's in with your prescribed culture. Yeah, diversity, that's our strength, all right. And then Emily here says, it's just my culture being stolen. Why am I mad, though? Really? Your culture's being stolen. Emily, I wonder where you were born. Because if you're born in the United States, and I of course don't know this, but I'm just saying if you were, then, you know, you're yeah, I get it. You're descended from perhaps some Chinese folks or grandparents or whoever, but nothing's being stolen. This girl bought the dress. She paid for it. Some person in China probably made it and got paid for it. Probably 5 cents on the hour, but they still got paid. So nothing's stolen here. And this is my problem with these people. They've got to go to extremes. Oh, my culture's being stolen because I can't wear that dress now, apparently. I'm sure Emily here could go out and get her the same dress and fucking wear it all day, every day, as long as she wants. Nothing's being stolen here. But these people, they have to go to extremes like the United States is now carpet bombing China to erase these dresses from the face of the earth. Oh, anyways, let's continue. So now, as usual, what happens on Twitter, you're going to get some dissenting voices who say, you know what, Jeremy Lamb, you're an idiot and you're wrong. And, well, we got some good ones here. Now, as we all know, the perfect place to find the answers to all your cultural appropriation questions are on Quora.com. And, well, here we have someone who says, who's asking whether they can wear the Cheong Sam or whatever. And old Derek here says, absolutely not. Unlike a turban, kilt, Native American headdress, the Kui Pao does not currently carry a very heavy cultural significance, other than a global association of it with Chinese culture. The closet Western comparable is a tuxedo. So something formal. It's a formal thing to wear, like, oh, I don't know, a prom. Just saying. And then we have here my man Tai Zi Lu, an analyst at Hangzhou. Lovely place to visit. I wouldn't want to live there, but he says, of course not. No Chinese have this idea. But maybe many Chinese will not think wearing Kui Pao to work is suitable to every job. No shit. Wearing a tuxedo or an evening gown is probably not the best choice of clothes to wear to your job. For example, he says, a scientist who wears Kui Pao in her lab? LOL. Ha ha ha. Laugh out loud. But most of the time it is okay. It just depends on what your job is. Well, shit. That doesn't exactly fit in with old Jeremy Lamb's narrative now, does it? Now, let's not forget old Giovanna, though. She'll tell my man Tai Zi Lu here to shut his fucking pie hole, and she'll let him know when he's offended and when his people are offended, because, you know, despite it being asked to wear the clothes, she knows better in her ivory tower, right? And then we have this fine rebuttal from Tulsified, who says, yeah, instead of opening your mouth and showing your stupidity, try learning about your own culture. I lived in Taiwan 10 years, where white foreigners adopting Chinese clothing was encouraged and praised. Grow a brain. Wow, that must really sting, especially coming from some Guailao shitlord who is just clearly not as progressive as old Jeremy here. I'd be curious to know, though, how long old Jeremy Lamb here has lived in China or Taiwan or anywhere else for that matter. Not saying he hasn't, but old Tulsified here looks like he spent a good part of his life in another part of the world. And, well, if what he's saying is true, it looks like he knows a hell of a lot more about the Chinese culture than old Jeremy. And, of course, who can forget this little gem, this little article that was online a little while ago about an art exhibit in China that, well, people seem to get a little pissed off over. I wonder if Jeremy's is equally upset about his culture as, well, black people. So, of course, as usually is the case here, people started looking into old Jeremy's profile here, and turns out Jeremy likes to do a little cultural appropriating of his own, but clearly it's okay. It's only bad when the white devil snow chimp does it. Thing is, part of the problem I have with these idiots is that I wish they would just come out and say, hey, it's terrible when white people do it, but it's okay when we do it. Because inevitably, these types of people are always going to be hypocrites, right? Old Jeremy here doesn't mind wearing a lei, doesn't mind saying nigga, doesn't mind commenting on Italian food. But the moment somebody wears a Chinese dress, especially if the person's white, well, he just flips his shit. These people are hypocrites. We all know this, but it needs to be, it always needs to be addressed every time it pops its head, because we can't let people get away with this type of bullshit and this type of hypocrisy.